is the perfect time to be saving money because we are getting income tax checks back, we are getting stimulus checks, so they are just throwing all kinds of money at us. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we are talking about the qualification process and how long it took us to become Naca qualified. So if you are interested in this video, then make sure you keep on watching. So in today's video, we are talking about the time frame that it took for my husband and I to become Naca qualified. Now, I am doing this video because it was requested by someone who made a comment asking if I could go into detail a little bit more specifically on how long it took us to become Naca qualified. We originally had our appointment scheduled for July 2019. And then shortly, 2 weeks prior to the appointment, we found out that our counselor was leaving. So we were reassigned to a brand new counselor. And so that counselor was the one who helped us get into our home. And so she had to go through the whole process over again with requesting IDs, bank statements, check stubs, everything. So basically, she didn't know us, we didn't know her, so we had to start over from the beginning. We met with her, and we submitted our documents and we turned in everything that we were supposed to do, and the process was flowing right along. And I believe we met with her in the middle part of August of 2019. So as we continued to meet with her, there were things coming up, minor things that really wasn't holding us back from becoming qualified, but there were things that we had to take care of, such as writing letters of explanation on old debt that had not been paid, which was only 2 things. And also there was a debt that we had to pay in full in order to move forward with getting Naca qualified. So as you know, when you have your meetings with your counselor, once they schedule your meeting, it could be a month before your next meeting. So we had our meeting with our counselor in August, we met in September, and then in October is when we were this close to becoming qualified. So there were things that kept coming up. So as we had our file submitted to the underwriter, something came back about my husband's credit. There was a freeze on his credit report. That was one minor thing that came back. All my husband had to do was remove that from his credit report. So once it was removed, they submitted our file to the underwriter. This was in, I think, the last week in October of 2019. Once our file was submitted to the underwriter, then we met back with our counselor and we found out that we were qualified. So we were qualified November 2nd of 2019. From August, maybe the middle part of August to November 2nd is the amount of time that it took for us to become qualified. So that was about 2.5 months. And as you know, like I said, Naca schedules appointments further out. So we could have been qualified sooner than November, but because of the way that their system works, they schedule appointments so far out. So in our case, it took us about 2.5 months to become Naca qualified once we came back to Naca to start working on the process of home ownership. So it was such a great feeling knowing that we were finally Naca qualified, because my husband and I worked so hard to do everything that Naca told us to do. We made sure we paid our bills on time every month. We were never late paying our bills. We paid our car off early. We saved up money. From the last time we met with our counselor, we had already started saving money. So we made sure that we had a savings account, and we made sure that we put a certain amount in that savings account, and we did it faithfully and we did it consistently up until the time when our mortgage counselor said, this is the amount of money you need to put in your reserves for your payment shock. So once she told us the amount that we needed to put into our savings account for our payment shock, we were like, oh, we already doing that, and we already had more than what she was asking us. So we were already ahead of the game. So it only took us 2.5 months to become Naca qualified. If we really count the time and say, this is when we came to Naca, August 2019, and this is when we became Naca qualified, then yeah, it only took us 2.5 months to become Naca qualified. And it was, like I said, such a great feeling. Also, for your bank statements, you want to make sure that you give your mortgage counselor the bank statements that they are requesting. I know for us, my mortgage counselor went through my bank statements and she went through them extensively. She scanned every last detail, every subtraction, every addition, every deposit, every withdrawal. She scanned all of that and she questioned us on everything that she needed to have an answer to, whether it was a withdrawal of $100, whether it was a deposit of $500. She asked us about every detail. So if I were you, try not to make too many large withdrawals or too many large deposits from just a deposit, because what they're going to do is they're going to ask you to explain what that is and what it was for. So if you can help it, try not to make too many withdrawals. If you do make a withdrawal, just try to take out enough money that is going to last you until the time you get paid, or at least throughout that entire week. So you won't see too many withdrawals or too many deposits. If you are having deposits from your source of income, which is your employer, that is completely fine. But if you are making deposits of $300, $400, $500, then your mortgage counselor is going to ask you, well, where's this money coming from? Because they need to know if you have another source of income that you aren't reporting to them. So try to make sure that you are limiting the number of deposits and the number of withdrawals. And if you can help it, try not to swipe your debit card so much. So if you are making a withdrawal of, let's say, $250, that is going to last you the entire week, use that money that you took out of the account instead of swiping your debit card or your credit card. That way your bank statement won't be 10 to 15 pages long, and your mortgage counselor won't have to bother you and won't have to ask you, what is this for or what is that for? Because I know when my mortgage counselor used to ask me, it got so irritating. So it doesn't always take you several months to several years to become Naca qualified, because we kind of had an idea of what we needed to do prior to meeting with our new counselor. We already were ahead of the game because we had already met with previous counselors who told us to do this and who told us to do that. So when you are 2 steps or even 3 steps ahead of the game, then you could possibly become Naca qualified even sooner than expected. So that is why I make these videos, because I want to give you my experience and what I went through going through the Naca process, so that could possibly help you and your journey move faster while you are achieving home ownership. It is definitely possible to become qualified within 3 to 6 months of being a Naca member. It is definitely possible. When I used to attend the home buyer workshops, we used to hear so many success stories, and these people sometimes would have bought their home in less than 6 months. Some people bought their home in less than 4 months. So it just depends on your situation, your circumstances, and if you have everything in order and ready to go, you can definitely get qualified much sooner. I would definitely suggest that you continue to save money. If you are already saving money and you have put aside a certain amount in your savings, continue to do that until you meet with your mortgage counselor and they tell you what your payment shock is. Your payment shock may be less than the amount of money that you are already saving. So if you are saving more than what your payment shock is, then that is great, because you are ahead of the game. You are saving more money. So when it comes down to closing, or when it comes down to your mortgage counselor asking you, hey, do you want to contribute a certain amount of money to buy down the interest rate? You may have tens of thousands of dollars in your account, and so you may say, I want to give $10,000 to buy down my interest rate, because you have been already saving this money up and you have enough money to be able to put down to buy down your interest rate, and also have money left over in your savings for other things after you close. So I would definitely suggest that you just continue to be positive about your journey and your home ownership process. If you really want to become a homeowner with the Naca program, then you have to put in the work. As I always tell you guys, you have to put in the work. Naca isn't just going to do the work for you. You have to also do the work and help Naca help you. Because becoming a first-time homeowner is a lot of work. It is a lot that goes into it. You have to be strategic and you have to be careful about what you are choosing and what program you're going to go with. And that's why I always suggest you do your research to find out what program works best for you. Naca is definitely a great program that can help you achieve home ownership with having a very low mortgage payment, lower than you expected. I know that a lot of people mortgage payments are less than what they were paying for their rent. So Naca is definitely a great program. If you are interested in the program, you need to go to the website and you need to sign up for the home buyer workshop or the seminar that they conduct online. At this time, I'm not sure they're going to go back to in-person seminars or workshops, but right now everything is done online as a webinar, and you would just log in on that specific date and time, and then you would attend the workshop. I believe it lasts up to 4 hours, and you have to be there the entire 4 hours, because after the seminar or the webinar is over with, they will give you your NACA ID number. So in the process, in the journey, as you go through the NACA program, continue to have a positive mindset, continue to have a positive outlook on things. Make sure you save your money. Now is the perfect time to be saving money because we are getting income tax checks back. We are getting stimulus checks, so this is the perfect time to be saving your money and not spending your money on unnecessary things, because not only, like I said, are we getting income tax checks back, but we are getting stimulus checks. And then there are going to be additional checks for the child tax credit starting in the month of, I believe, July. So they are just throwing all kinds of money at us. So you want to make sure that you take full advantage of this extra money that's coming in, because you want to make sure that you are depositing that into your savings account. It's okay to spend a little bit here and there. Treat yourself. I'm always an advocate for treating yourself because you deserve it. If you work hard for your money, you deserve to treat yourself. So just make sure that you are putting a substantial amount of that stimulus check and that tax refund check into your savings, because that is going to help you in the long run. That's going to help furnish your home with brand new things if you choose to get brand new things. That is going to help you pay down your debt. That is the most important thing. The stimulus money and your tax refund check is going to help you pay down your debt so you can have less debt and more affordability for your home, because the less debt that you have, the more of a home that you're going to be able to get. So you want to make sure that you take full advantage of the tax refund check that you are getting and the stimulus money that you're getting. This is absolutely the perfect time to be saving as much as possible. You want to make sure that you become NACA qualified, right? So you need to make sure that you save as much money as possible, because you're going to be required to put down the minimum required funds, and if you are interested in buying down your interest rate. You don't have to buy down the interest rate. You could totally use whatever the interest rate is at that given moment. It is up to you. In our case, the seller gave us $4,000 towards the closing costs, and of course, NACA does not have closing costs or down payment. So we used that $4,000 to buy down our interest rate, and I'm so glad we did, because it really helped our mortgage payment be much more affordable than what we thought it was going to be. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that it answered your question. But if you did, make sure to give me a thumbs up and also hit that red subscribe button below. If you have any questions or comments, make sure to leave them down below and I will respond back to you. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.